Break last night, by the way.
Oh, really? I haven't seen it yet, Brian. The video got lost in all the food pics and grandkid posts. There's just too much stuff on Facebook. I don't want to buy protein shakes for my cousin's kid or watch a cat playing piano. Facebook wasn't made for collecting, that's for sure.
Well, Chris, now there's a better way to break.
Well, spit it out. What does that mean?
There's a new platform designed specifically for breaking, created by the pros at Real Sports Cards. It's called Uncommon. When you use Uncommon, you won't see any of the Facebook clutter. You can tune in to a current break in progress, see what's dropping next, browse your favorite card categories, and easily find what you're looking for.
That looks easy as pie. How do I join a break?
You simply click, and your spot is on hold. No more constantly refreshing and commenting to claim teams. Then it safely and securely charges your account. A notification will tell you when the break is about to start, and a live chat lets you cheer each other on.
Well, this is a walk in the park compared to Facebook.
Yep, sure is.
Can I start now?
Absolutely. Visit uncommonapp.com today for a better way to break.
Where has this been all these years? I think I might delete my Facebook now.
What's happening, everyone? Happy Friday. Making sure we're all good. That says the mic's on, so
Mic's
Titus didn't mess with me at
You
all
didn't
today.
break it this time?
I hope not. Fingers crossed. Who's here with us? Check in.
I mean,
Say hello.
it went incredibly smooth the last time Titus and I did this. So
Yeah,
I
'cause
don't
he
know
doesn't-
why
'cause he
you
doesn't-
always have technical difficulties.
Because he's sabotaging me, I think, is the problem. He's trying to make himself look better.
Good morning. What's happening, Jake?
Jake won the $50 in break credits. Jake can probably update that right now for you.
So we did the race? Is that
We
what
did the race. The race to see who was first.
Nice.
And Jake won. So Jake, that's $50 in break credit for you. That, as always, is best used with me.
Say hello in comments, guys. Let us know that you are here and hanging out with us.
What up, Nick?
Nick is in the house. What's going on? Steve is in the house. March Sadness is in the house. What's up? Who else is hanging out this morning?
All right, Jake, you are
All
good
s-
to go.
All set with $50.
Good to go with the $50 credit. Tom Cole in the house. Who's that guy?
Man, I think he's going on vacation today.
Is he?
Yeah,
Must be nice.
we get a boatload of snow, and Tom goes on
I
vacation.
tell you what, cleaning off my car of snow was not on my bingo card for Friday morning.
No, I mean we got a good 3 or 4 inches.
Yeah, like 3 more inches is enough. It was solid.
And then the forecast says like 7 on Sunday and 10 on Monday or
Seriously?
something like that.
It's a good time for Tom to leave. I'm leaving in 2 weeks, so
Not very pretty,
I'll have a little bit of a winter feel before I go down south.
right? I mean we're getting pretty close to opening day for baseball here. There's going to be a lot of snow on the field again in Minnesota.
We all thought we were out of the blue with we were in the clear with that 60-degree weather a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean we also kind of knew. We also kind of knew what was going to go down.
Yeah, that's true.
We know it's
it
possible.
always, it always
It
happens.
could snow in May for all we know.
Yeah,
here.
It always happens.
Jose is in the house. What's up, Jose? You like that? You like the new username there? I love Titus and Emil, or Titus and Ryan.
Yeah, I don't like that one really.
It's a good one.
I think I liked it better when it was before.
Yep.
No one really loves you.
Oh, they do. Everybody does. Everybody does. So big news. A lot of things going on this week.
Got a lot going on.
Obviously, we had a little bit of March Madness fun ourselves.
Yep.
A little bit of March Madness.
I would say things were madness yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Hopefully, you guys had a chance to help us break the drafted breaks feature, or drafted teams feature. But we had a little bit of fun with that. How many games did you watch?
I watched a lot actually. All last night I was watching. So I watched every game last night, and then I was working yesterday. So I watched a couple.
Working. He said working in quotes while he's sitting next to the guy that can fire.
I watched plenty of games. I stayed up late. I was gonna go to bed early after the NC State game last night because I had NC State winning. They started pulling away, and then Kansas Samford was on, and that game was just not good. But then Samford started coming back, so I ended up watching the whole end of that one. That was the last game. Got to see the refs' brutal missed block call.
Yeah.
Broke my bracket. I had Samford in the Final Four.
My bracket is jacked also. I had BYU in the Elite Eight.
How far do you have Kentucky Final Four championship?
I have Kentucky in the championship.
That one's.
And then
stinks.
I had Nevada in the Elite Eight.
Yikes! You didn't no love for Dayton?
No, absolutely no love for Dayton.
What do you mean?
I put Nevada down for that win, and
Yep.
they were winning by 20 freaking points.
That game was crazy. I went to hang out with a couple buddies and was watching that game. That was insane.
They were winning by 20. I stopped watching it because I was like, sweet.
Yeah, that was in the bag.
Locked in the bag, upset. And I had them going. I had them beating Creighton in the second game.
Wow. Yeah. No, they didn't play Creighton. They don't play Creighton.
No, who is it?
They play. They would have played. I think Iowa State or Arizona.
No, Arizona's in the other bracket.
It's definitely not Creighton because Creighton plays Oregon, and I picked both those games right. My bracket.
It is Arizona.
It is Arizona.
It is Arizona.
Yeah.
You're right. It is Arizona.
My bracket is actually looking. I didn't have Samford in the Final Four. My bracket's looking really good. Tied for first in my big 80-man league with a bunch of guys from high school. Knock on wood that we stayed good there.
Did you run the same bracket here with your buddies as
I
you
only
ran
do
for the shop?
My
bracket?
March Madness theory is if you're doing more than one bracket, like it's not as fun, and I've never done it, but to me, it's not as fun to have 10 different brackets spread out because then you're rooting for both teams every game. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, then you got to keep track of, if Creighton loses here, then I'm good in these 5 brackets, but I'm also losing in these. Like that's not as fun.
Well, if you're gonna win, you want a clean sweep, right?
Right. Yeah.
If you hit that jackpot bracket, then there's like I wouldn't want to hit a jackpot bracket and then lose all my other ones, so I break even.
Right. Exactly.
Like here, I put together the winning bracket, but then I did a bunch of dummy brackets all over the place. So
it's not.
I break even.
It's like golfing. It's like how many mulligans can you get? You don't get any mulligans in golf.
Oh, I can get a lot of mulligans.
Well, that's because you just pay for the extra breakfast balls at the tournaments.
I can get a lot of mulligans. A lot of them.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
No, I'm good with my one bracket. Looking good. Kentucky was my big. I had them in the I think Elite Eight or Elite Eight or Sweet 16. I had BYU in the Sweet 16, which I'm really concerned that I picked BYU to go that far. I don't trust that school ever. I don't trust that school ever. We can leave it at that, but
I think he's religiousist.
First Zach Wilson, now the BYU 2024 basketball team.
Unreal.
No, it's looking good.
All right, so drafted teams.
Drafted
Madness was bonkers yesterday. How many people watching tried to or did participate in Drafted Madness yesterday? It was kind of a fun experiment. We actually had this idea on Monday, right?
Yeah, we threw it together real quick.
So we pulled this together on Monday. So it's like, well, let's try this out. We feel like we could use the drafted teams break feature to do a fun contest.
Right.
We definitely tested the limits of the software. there's probably some things we could have done better. So just to give you guys a little insight, Jake asked, did Steve have a heads up that we were doing this, or did he just like wake up that morning and be like, the sky is falling? And actually, we did tell Steve that we were doing it, but we did overlook a couple of things. Mm-hmm. One of the things we overlooked was typically on Wednesday mornings and Wednesday evenings and or on Wednesdays and Fridays where we have new releases, our system automatically increases our bandwidth on the app to handle the load from new releases. And then, but on Thursday, we didn't do that. So we probably could have helped it a little bit by like realizing, oh, we're going to drop this big promo that's going to have a ton of traffic and a ton of demand on the database.
Yeah.
And jacked it up. But we did it. So we got like normal throughput on the first 5.
We saw that.
We
how
saw
that worked.
We saw how that worked. That was Crash City. Some people couldn't even draft teams because it just wouldn't load and things like that. So ultimately, all of those just got randomed. For the people that couldn't draft teams, they were loaded in the order of ranking.
And we did have a lot of people. I was surprised to see, just because of how slow and choppy the app was with the overload. There were a lot of people that were able to draft. If you go into those first 5 Drafted Madness break events, you can see a lot of differentials up, which means people were able to grab teams and drag them up.
Right. Yep. So then we decided, all right, well, we want more data. You know, I mean, part of breaking something is you have to try and break it again. You have to change something that you think helps and try to break it again. And so we tried to do that a couple times. We tried to drop 5 more.
This is with the increase
with the bandwidth jacked up, right?
And we did it to double what we would normally do on a regular release day. So it was cranked up high.
So part of the challenge is quantity of users and all the amount of people all hitting the system at once. The other part of the challenge is just the amount of stress on the database, on the back-end database that's managing all of the items. And so you have one of the challenges with drafted teams breaks is the incremental savings. So it's saving every time somebody tries to move something, and so it's just hammering the database. Plus we did 64 spots instead of the normal 30 spots for drafted teams. So we had a lot of things going on. The second round was a little bit better, but still had some issues. I actually grabbed a spot for test purposes in one of them and was able to move teams and stuff like that. And then we decided to drop a solo one unannounced a little bit later, and that one went really well. So that was really smooth, everything like that. So we'd certainly appreciate you guys helping us stress test the system. There's a reason we always do stress tests on things where we're giving away money instead of collecting money. So you can probably plan on seeing more of that kind of stuff from us in the future as we keep trying to stress test everything and just keep improving the platforms. So
yeah.
So
we're excited to watch and see how that all unfolds. So if you guys didn't see it or had any questions about it, so you get credit for every single time your team wins, and then double if it's an upset. So I think the payouts are like $1 for the first round, $2 for the second round, so on and so forth. Right. It just keeps doubling every round.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be some interesting.
All the Kentucky people,
thought they were good for $1.
You get Kentucky in that Drafted Madness. You thought you were in good. You thought you were good for I think what would we say, without upsets. If you win it all.
Was it like
it's $63 in credit?
Like yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I think Kentucky probably thought they even had a shot at that.
Oakland people are happy right now.
Woo,
$2
Oakland,
upset.
Oakland, go Oakland. So, right on. Well, that's enough basketball. Let's talk
I
baseball.
don't know if it's enough basketball
It
right
is.
now.
We're gonna get plenty of basketball later today.
Are you going to tell them about the big special opening day mixer that we're going to do next week? Or is
No.
that...
Let's talk about Ohtani real quick.
Oh, what about Ohtani?
I think here's my position. There's a 89% chance Ohtani was betting.
Pete Rose 2.0.
I didn't say that he's betting on baseball.
What was he betting on?
Well, you can. There are a lot of other sports.
I'm just curious. What do you think? Like, what do you think Ohtani bets on?
I think there's an 89% chance that Ohtani was betting on other sports.
I don't know. It's weird. That whole situation's weird. So I saw a couple of things like people like speculating on Twitter, and if Ohtani wasn't betting, the theory is that the translator was the one betting. Then Ohtani decided to bail him out, which is why they had the two different stories, because they said, like, oh, yeah, he did this, but I was like, oh, wait, this is theft. And it's like Ohtani decided to bail him out, and then Ohtani's camp realized that what he was doing was massively illegal, even though it was just aiding the dude that was. So then they're like, oh, no, we don't know this at all.
I mean, I feel like I just can't wrap my head around somebody who makes $300,000 a year
Living the life.
going $4.5 million in the hole in sports betting in 1 year. I just can't wrap my head around that. Like, this guy's life is over.
Yeah.
This guy's life is over after he's down $500,000.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah,
and he's asking his friends and he's asking Ohtani to bail him out then.
Right.
How do you go $4.5 million deep when you make $300,000 a year as a translator? Like, I realize gambling can spiral, but man, that is
bad.
an epic beatdown.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you know you have that backup and can go,
Yeah, but how can you, even with your friendship with Ohtani, feel like you have a backup that any human's gonna bail you out for $4.5 million? When you make $300,000 a year and have no way to ever pay them back in your lifetime.
Right. That dude probably makes more than any translator in the entire world.
For sure. For sure. Right? So I just don't see how Ohtani is not, like, I feel like everyone's covering. The translator's going to take the fall for the $700 million guy.
Get paid off.
The bookie's going to take the fall for the $700 million guy. And I think Ohtani's betting. Now, granted, baseball players can bet on other sports. It is not against the rules
Oh, I didn't know that actually.
for baseball players to bet on other sports.
They just can't bet on
They
baseball.
can't bet on baseball. But Ohtani was doing it or allegedly,
Yeah.
Ohtani or his bookie was doing it with an illegal bookie because sports betting entirely is illegal in California. So even like DraftKings, you can't do, like Minnesota.
No, that's different. You can do DraftKings.
Can you do DraftKings?
I'd assume you can do because you can do DraftKings here because it's daily
True.
fantasy
That's
sports.
daily
or like
fantasy.
prize
That's
picks.
different. Right. But like MGM, the MGM
Right, you can't do like
sportsbook,
straight
yeah,
bets
yeah,
or that sort of thing.
Yep. So you're just doing prop bets. But here, so Ohtani's doing it with an illegal bookie.
I think the bigger concern out of all of this is how bad of a gambler is Ohtani that he goes $4.5 million in the hole. Like, you have to be pretty bad at sports betting to he better not have been betting on baseball, because if he was betting on baseball and lost $4.5 million while being in the league, I think that's a problem. That probably speaks more to Ohtani than it does to anything else.
I mean, you do a little bit of sports betting for fun.
100%.
And, you generally swing between $2 amounts.
Yeah, correct.
Like, you have a ceiling that you're up, and you have a floor that you're down.
Right.
And most of the time, you're just kind of bouncing between them.
Yep.
Right.
That's how I try to do it.
And I mean, I can't imagine the craziness of going ham for $4.5 million in the hole.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, you watch, like, Barstool and, like, Dave Portnoy yesterday put $100,000 on the Holy Cross women's basketball team. Like, there was, like, a playing game for the women's March Madness tournament. So it's like, you see that, and it's like, well, maybe it is easier to go $4.5 million in the hole than you would think.
But $100,000 wager
Oh yeah, when you look
Is
at his
it-
bankroll,
That's my argument.
that's
for
$10
why-
to me.
That's my argument
Right.
for why the translator isn't placing $100,000 bets.
Right. Yeah, 100%.
Because he makes $300,000 a year. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Sell those Otani cards, maybe.
Are you buying?
Maybe.
It might be a time to buy.
Maybe. Either way, I don't think even if it does, because obviously the federal investigators are investigating the
Yeah.
bookie, right? I think if Otani was betting,
Yep.
that doesn't get him banned from baseball.
But he could get in trouble with the illegal.
But he
with the
could be
legality
in
issue.
trouble with the legality stuff. And the truth is that can affect your status in the U.S.
Oh, so he's
You get into legal trouble. When we've seen that with baseball players from the Central America,
Yep.
right? From
Right.
Latin America, they get into legal trouble in the States and they can't come back, right? So I don't know. We'll see.
Exciting start to the baseball season.
Fun stuff.
Baseball season actually started too. Like I think people kind of blow by that with the Korea games. Like those are real games.
Yeah.
These are regular season games that
Yeah.
we're playing here.
Yeah.
And then full opening day comes
Regular
Thursday.
season Yamamoto explosion.
He didn't look good in spring training either.
No.
I think it was like Adam Frazier talking or someone on a podcast, and they said like it's an issue with a decent amount of Japanese pitchers that come over is their off-speed stuff is just nasty, like the best in the world, but his fastball is just straight. Doesn't matter how
Yeah.
fast it is, dudes are going to crush it because so like that started talking like he's not going to throw his fastball nearly as much because guys are just going to be able to hit it.
Yeah. So if Yamamoto can't pull it together
Yep.
and Otani runs into legal troubles, like, do the Dodgers insure these kind of contracts? There's
gotta
got to
think
be
there's some
legal
sort of-
legal clauses where they don't have to pay Otani if
Well,
he gets into legal
That's the
trouble.
question with Wanda right now too,
Right.
because his contract was mostly guaranteed. I think.
Like you're talking.
Well, baseball's all guaranteed, isn't
Yeah, I
it?
mean, depending on how this goes, yeah, I mean, unless they violate a clause in their contract.
Right. So it's like, is Wander going to get paid his money, or was that?
Who knows? But I mean, $1 billion between Yamamoto and Otani, like that's bankruptcy.
Well, you can't. I don't think they have a clause for Yamamoto's case for just being bad at baseball.
Right.
That doesn't.
They're still paying him. They're still paying him. But I mean, has a MLB franchise ever filed for bankruptcy?
Did the Athletics do it?
I don't know. They probably should.
Might have gotten close. No, my contract is not guaranteed.
For sure, not
It's definitely on a
guaranteed.
day-to-day basis.
100% not guaranteed. Michael Odell over on Facebook said he thinks Otani put a wager on a foot race between you and me.
You get smoked in a foot race by me.
Man,
You're too heavy right now. I'm
that's momentum.
But you need
Heavy.
some torque.
Heavy. It's momentum. That's momentum.
What is that? What's the
I might-
calculation for that?
I might pop an ACL off the line, but my momentum might carry me.
I've been involved in one foot race over the last 2 years and did not end well for the other
I'm
person.
trying to think when the last time I had a foot race was.
Me was with Walters in Atlantic City during the National 2 years ago.
Oh my gosh, that did not end well at all.
Late night boardwalk Atlantic City.
I mean, it ended fine for you.
It worked fine for me. Michael
Walter,
tripped up.
He still has scars
he literally does on
He
his
does.
on his side, his knees all scarred up.
where he ate it.
He
I'll tell
ate
you
that.
what. If we have a foot race ever,
Yeah, it's gonna be on grass.
for sure on grass.
Yeah.
We have got a long enough stretch of grass at the house,
Well, yeah, I'm fine with that.
and then you have to go out there and pick up rocks for like a week in the grass,
Just in case you fall,
just in
you don't
case
get-
I do a header. Yeah,
Oh, that's funny.
yeah. So awesome. Well, enough current events. Should we open it up to
Yeah,
comments
do
here?
it.
This is the time we want to open it up to Q&A. We had a little bit of fun talking sports already. Yeah, foot race followed by a drag race.
That's exactly what it was.
Me dragging my belly in the grass.
Is it next week? Is Easter?
Yes.
I might have teased a little.
Oh, did you say something about that?
I didn't say anything. I just put. I didn't know if anyone was gonna ask anything.
Should we
about
show
it.
them? Where is it? Go grab one.
I got one right here.
Easter's coming, and of course, we did the pot of gold bounties, right?
Pot of gold bounties.
Pot of gold bounties, for St. Patrick's Day, and I didn't make Emil dress up in a costume, but we are going to do some mystery egg skunk protection. Mystery egg skunk protection. So we're going to have a handful of mystery eggs with some kind of goodie inside. And if you earn skunk protection on our breaks, you're going to get to choose the color of egg that you want. And that's going to be the mystery skunk prize that you take home for the break. So make sure you come and hang out. Good thing this isn't green.
Yeah, it wouldn't work if it was green.
If you grabbed a green egg,
I don't know. It might be a different enough color green.
You think so? If it was a green egg, it would be like holding nothing. Are you getting one?
Yeah, I want to try it actually. I think it's too neon green.
Oh, is it too? Yeah, but I think it gets like all shades of green here. Here, just put it in my hand.
That's pretty funny.
That's really funny. Actually, you can see where the light is reflecting off of it right here. Here, hold on.
I'll do that for the rest of the thing. That's funny.
It's an orange egg.
So Saturday we're doing
Saturday
because we won't be breaking.
We're
Easter
not
Sunday.
breaking. We're not heathens. We're not heathens. We're not breaking on Easter Sunday because that's when Jesus came back to life. We're not doing that. That's going to be our fun on Saturday.
Weren't Jesus' first words when he rose from the tomb, "Let there be breaks"?
Let there be breaks?
Yeah.
No, he's probably like, "Let's go!" If I came back from the dead, I would be like, "Let's go!
I'm back.
I'm back!"
He pulls the Cam Newton, when he scored that touchdown, he's back. I'm back.
I'm back. I'm back, baby. For sure.
All right, so that'll be next Saturday, and then I say just keep your eyes out for maybe a special big mixer on
Opening
on
day.
Thursday.
Yeah, we're gonna rock a little bit of opening day fun. So maybe if you were around for our New Year's,
Pretty similar to that.
New Year's craziness.
A little more loaded.
Yeah, that thing snap filled really fast. So if you're up for the same kind of craziness, then keep an eye out for opening day.
That'd be a fun one.
Yeah.
All right, Michael Odell asks, what's the latest on the Blue Diamond Reward program?
Yeah, good. We've been cranking along on features. We rolled out what we believe is our final update on drafted teams. So drafted teams feature was the feature in front of Blue Diamond Rewards, and along the way we've been chipping away at being able to process diamonds as currency, which is kind of the next piece that we had to go. And at this point, we are still targeting April. So I think that's what we've been targeting is April for being able to use Blue Diamond Rewards. We've already started to acquire some of the goodies that we are going to do as prize drops for using your diamonds. And so, yeah, we're excited about that and still trying to crank that for April.
Yep.
So, yep.
And Blue Diamonds are still being collected on every single break. Double if you hit the close.
Yep.
And keep racking them up.
Yep. And that was the idea. We wanted you guys to start earning them first. Otherwise, we'd have been waiting until April for any of it. So we're glad that people are going to actually have Blue Diamonds accumulated. So when we start dropping things that you can buy with them, people will actually be able to jump in.
Yep. Jake asked a question earlier, I think before the Q&A even started, kind of on the same lines with future developments, community chats, etc. What else we have in the bank for Uncommon?
Yeah, so good. Yeah, so after Blue Diamond Rewards, we've got a little bit of a pivot going. I think, do we talk about this at all before?
I don't
remember if we
talking
talked about
it
this.
at all.
I'll talk about it just briefly. After Blue Diamond rewards are released, we're going to have a little bit of a code freeze because we're actually working on building out some custom apps for some friends of ours. So we're going to be helping some other people deploy apps to the market for their businesses. Originally, when we built Uncommon, the intent was for Uncommon to be a platform similar to a Whatnot or a Fanatics Live or a Loop, where we would eventually add other dealers who would sell side by side with us on the same app. And as we've watched other platforms and thought about it a little bit more, we just decided that's not the strategy that we wanted to take. So instead of deploying other people on Uncommon, in the coming months, you're actually going to see us rebrand Uncommon to the Real Sports Cards app, since it will never host other dealers on our platform. You'll see a rebrand happen. The nice thing is you won't have to download a new app, anything like that. You'll just notice an update that updates the branding. Uncommon app will be rebranded as the Real Sports Cards app, and then we will be in the process of white labeling our software for other dealers that we are friendly with and excited about helping boost their businesses so that they can deploy their own branded apps as their own direct sales channel to the marketplace. And so, yeah, it's kind of fun. We're going to help some other breakers kind of elevate their game and bring their own customers a better experience using our software. And so, yeah, we're excited about that. So that's going to take place this summer. Chris, we built the app. So the Uncommon app is something that we built and we customized from scratch ourselves. So we do own 100% of the app. And so that's why we are deploying it that way. So as we deploy the app with some dealer partners for them, then we're just going to start pouring into the next set of features. I am not going to go into really a lot of detail on the next set of features, but I think the two words that we can use are community. One of the things we miss the most from being primarily hosted on Facebook is the community that can be created there. So from the community standpoint, I think you should expect to see collector profiles, chat and messaging, direct messaging, and other community forum type features rolling into the platform. And then the second piece, which I think is...
I can't believe you're not going to talk about it right now. It's a little far out, that's why, I think. Yeah. I'm super excited because
I honestly, I don't want to go into it deep, but because we're probably 12 months away.
Right.
But gamification is the second word, and gamification and achievements. So that's the next evolution of the feature plan.
Yep.
And we're really excited about both of those. So not going to go into any details on what that entails, but it might be the greatest thing to happen to breaks.
It's going to be epic. We're so excited. We've already got some stuff built out, obviously not going in depth. We've got some stuff built out, plenty of ideas for how we want it to work and how things are going to look and how things are going to act, and it's going to be epic. It's going to be really sweet.
And you guys probably have some kind of experience with achievements and gamification on other apps. And I think adding that to breaks, adding that concept to breaks is going to be epic.
Yeah,
So, so that's the future feature pipeline right now. That's the plan. That's kind of the next 12-month plan.
Yep.
For us that we're going to be chipping away at.
Yep.
So we're excited about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much, Jake, about signing up for Facebook if you aren't already on Facebook right now. That's kind of just our medium for communication with, breaks that, like, we do teasers and stuff like that. It's nothing that you're not seeing on Uncommon already. There's a little bit of direct messaging that happens between us and some guys that are still on Facebook. But the reality is, as we've gotten further and further away, I mean, we're a year and a month now into being strictly on Uncommon, and as we keep getting further out, we're using Facebook less and less and gaining collectors on Uncommon that have never been a part of our Facebook and still aren't part of it and don't even have Facebook. So
Yeah. We do a lot of communication, so we we still drop reminders and teasers and things like that and breaks information, but it's all stuff that if you're primary using on Uncommon and you're on there checking breaks and checking drops and things like that regularly, then you won't miss that. We do giveaways.
Yeah, we do some giveaways.
We do some giveaways on Facebook. We have a weekly card giveaway that's free. So there's some other things, and then if you ever want to reach out to us and have an easy conversation directly, kind of our default direct messaging platform is Facebook Messenger.
Yep.
So that is one of the easiest. That is one of the easiest ways to.
Jake's got my email also, so for those of you, if any of you out there are not on Facebook and need to get a hold of us, obviously if you're local, you can call the store and talk to Nate. But my direct email is always probably the best. Then you can just shoot me an email and we can go from there.
Good morning, David. David is hanging out on Facebook.
I like this comment. What's up, David?
David, Mr. Piece of the Game. David's got an epic shop in New York.
Yeah. They have two. Or just
I think
one?
he does have two. David, if you're still there, David, maybe he does have two shops.
I feel like I remember it being two.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
But really nice, high tech, high quality, high end. I love that because we put so much work into our shop to make it like a cutting edge, modern shop, and he's another guy that has done it super, super well. If you've been to the National, you've probably seen them set up at the National with a really nice display. So awesome business over there.
Yep. Are you? When's the Tops conference?
Tops conference is in Atlanta in May.
Oh, so you're still 2 months out?
April or May?
I feel like it's coming up.
I forget the exact dates.
I'm bummed. I'm not going to be down there. I was going to hang out with David at all these conferences. I'm not going to be down there. David, you got to convince Brian to bring me down. He's cutting me out this time.
Sold out, baby. Sold out. Yeah, it's just going to be Tom and I this year at the Tops conference. So Tops actually limited.
Yeah, no, I know.
2 per. Now, granted, we've got 2 accounts, so we probably could have still taken more.
Yeah.
But I think there are a lot of shops that didn't get to go because they sold out.
Right.
So
end of April, he said. That's what I thought.
yeah, it's probably appropriate for you to not be going in place of another actual shop owner since you're just a peon. Temp. He's still legit. These guys probably haven't seen this.
This is
right?
terrible. No, you can't show him this because you're gonna get on Sports Cards Radio as one of the abusive bosses.
Boss.
Yeah.
Abusive boss.
Just don't hold a knife to my throat on a break stream.
Yeah, check this out. Still right above 3-star sports cards. Right above 3-star sports cards. There's Emil's phone number in my phone. Temp. You've been temp for like 5 years.
Ever since been in there since 2019.
Yeah, 2019. So
whatever.
Let's see. I saw something else. Did the development of the app get slowed down because we had to buy all new Buster seats?
I think he meant to say booster, but he mixed up the joke, so it's not as funny.
Buster seats?
Yeah.
What's a Buster seat?
Matt's a buster.
See, we ignore all of his other stuff until he messes up.
Yeah.
And says something dumb in the comments.
Could have been funny, but screwed it up.
Totally missed the opportunity to be funny. Cross check.
Jake asked if we were planning on moving the shop anytime soon due to its growth, or is it still right size? I tell you what, I'll answer this one. This building that we're in has not been right size since the month after we moved in 2.5 years ago. It is not. We've been grinding and been squished in here for so long. It's been brutal.
We have 3,100 square feet for retail, lounge, breaker studios, storage, sorting and shipping, operations, marketing, software. Ugh.
Yeah, we've actually done 2 different rounds of remodels in here. We took a bathroom out to make another office.
So Kutsky's office was where there used to be an old shitter.
It is 100%, right? He sits right where the toilet used to be.
He does.
Yeah, and then we made another one just for remodeling to increase storage room actually in the back.
Right.
So, yeah, and it's still not enough. I mean, you're looking, but there's nothing planned.
Yeah, I mean,
soon, right?
Commercial real estate market is a train wreck. For those of you guys who watch that, it's crazy. The interest rates right now are just awful. So we own this building, and the space that we're in. So that makes it a little bit more interesting because it's not just a lease that we can run out or buy out and move. The reason I bought the building and the reason I really wanted to buy out of the gates is because we spent so much money on the build out. I was like, man, I mean, one, I want to be like, owning the building is a nice achievement, but man, spending that amount of money on the build out with all the custom cabinetry and everything like that, to not own the space just felt icky to me. So I really look for an opportunity to own. But yeah, I mean, we've been looking, we've definitely been looking and seeing what options are out there. In this commercial real estate market, maybe some options start popping. But again, interest rates are awful, man. Holy cow.
Yeah, we were looking at some big buildings where it's like the interest rate now compared to what it was 2 years ago or even a year ago.
Well, we ran the math. I mean, we ran the math. A building right behind us is 35,000 square feet. We don't need that much, but if I could buy it for the right price, like we could lease out, subdivide it, lease out some other space, and just take the space that we need, right? 35,000 square foot building. They want $4.5 million for it, which is at current interest rates like $40,000 a month. But that same purchase at the interest rate that I bought this building at would be $27,000 a month. That's still a lot of money, right? But there's a big difference between $40,000 a month and $27,000 a month, especially if I could lease out 2/3 of the building. Right. So, man, it's a lot more. It's a lot more than we need. Rates are awful. That building, to make sense, to buy that building, and be able to lease it out and cash flow that building, we'd have to buy it for like $2.5 million.
Yeah,
right.
It's tough right now,
and that's tough.
Yep.
So we're looking. I'm open. It's more likely that we find a solution that replaces this shop than open a second one. That we're not really looking at options to open a second location.
Yeah, the fact of the matter is with our Champlin location specifically, we need more room in the lounge. We need more room in the shop. Like when we do events, if you guys have been to a trade night or been to Kids Day or anything,
or the grading night, grading 101,
right.
Or the hobby rip night, the tops rip night.
Everything. It is literally shoulder to shoulder
in here, like jam packed.
Yeah, which we love, but we want to have some more space for everyone and be able to get more people in here.
We've never been able to do food, for example. We've never been able to do food at our in-store events because it's just not physically possible with space. So we'd love to do food. Would love to be able to do autograph signings. things like that, and then just do bigger events. We could definitely get the people in here, but we don't have the space.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
and then, some of our own things. We'd love to have four live studios instead of 2.
Yep.
Right now, 4 studios would definitely help. We have all of our inventory crammed into the smallest room. It's unreal how efficient it is, but insane it is to have that much inventory packed into one room. And then our sorting and shipping people are sitting on top of each other in the sorting and shipping room.
Yep.
And so giving them room to spread out, plus our need to hire more people to fill some more roles that we have coming up. Our vending machine business.
Yep.
And then the software side of things, like, we definitely need more space.
Yep.
So before we were in here, it was a dentist office.
Yeah, so it was a male and female bathroom, public, and then a private, like, employee-only bathroom.
Right.
So our operations manager sits in the employee-only bathroom right now.
Yep. So if you haven't been in one of these Q&As before, like, everything's on the table for questions. Like, we're an open book with how we run our business and the shops and the breaks and the app and everything like that. So if there's something that you're curious about, hit us up with a question. We're happy to dive into some of those topics.
Yeah, we kind of cover most of the main things that we have going on right now in terms of, I'm trying to think if there's anything else specifically that these guys don't know about. We teased opening day, teased the April special.
Yep. We got
Kind of working on the.
We got actually, today's a big new release day.
Yeah, Bowman Inception dropping in 30 seconds.
Bowman Inception Baseball #1. Pick your team dropping in 30 seconds.
They finally did, like, more legit patches this year. There's going to be some sick stuff out of that.
Yeah,
one.
no more. Like, not the napkin
the
swatches.
2 little napkin
that's
swatches that they
awful.
did last year. This is going to be way, way better. Like, Jackson Holiday has a ton of stuff, and he's got
10
like
seconds.
sick 3-color patch out. It's going to be sick.
So 10-second drop. The fast way to get there if you're trying to grab a team is to click open breaks right in the chat log, right? So click the open breaks tab, boom. That's going to be the fastest way, and it's available right now. Then we've got Zenith Football. We've got Top's Finest Road to UEFA.
Yep, that'd be sweet.
Which actually is going to be an awesome product. We do not have a lot of the finest Road to UEFA.
Correct.
So if you are into soccer or just want to jump in on a product that's going to have awesome chases, don't sleep on it. We're not going to have a ton. When it's gone, it's gone.
Yep.
And then
Dynasty.
the big boy, Dynasty Baseball. There's not going to be Dynasty Baseball this morning. But we will be kicking off some Dynasty Baseball breaks this evening.
Yep, we'll have some fun stuff this evening. And I promise you we will not have any one-case pick-your-player breaks where 94% of the people get 0 cards.
Yeah. I mean, that's the most disgusting break I've ever seen.
It's such a bad break.
We saw a break posted on one of, we won't say it by name.
I've seen it a few times, a lot of places.
We saw a break posted on one of the multi-dealer platform sites that was 117
yeah, it's
spots.
like 117 subjects in that problem.
117 spot pick your player for one case with 5 cards. And let me just tell you right now, guys, I'm never going to do a break where 112 people don't get anything. I'm just not going to do it. So, sorry. If that's your thing, like, more power to you. But I'm not going to do a break where 100 people don't get a single thing for the dollars that they spend. So our choice for Dynasty is similar to what we've done in the past. We're going to do some random team mixers that have Dynasty as a focal point. We're going to do some pick your team mixers that have Dynasty as a focal point. And then we might do some big ones. We might do a big one. We'll see. Last year we did a big mixer that had a full case of Dynasty in it.
That was a sweet one, too.
And it was awesome. That break was really, really awesome.
Yep.
So, I mean, Crosscheck says skunk protection, but the reality is the second I have to give anything of value
to 100 people.
to 100 people, now we have to build that in. We can't just eat that. We got to build it in and mark the Dynasty product up even more.
Yep.
So it's even tough to do skunk protection on that.
Yep.
So
You want to talk about, so a couple people asking about 2024 Topps UFC. So Titus did that UFC case, when was that, Wednesday. Great rip, loved it. You want to talk about kind of our thought process into going into that break and why we didn't order 50 cases of it?
yeah. I mean, pull it up. Can you pull it up so I can see it?
Yeah, I'm going to try to find it here.
All right, so here's our philosophy on breaks, guys. And this is the kind of the challenge that we always have as we're trying to forecast what products to buy and how much to buy of these products. Generally, we're trying to figure out, the reality is we're trying to figure out what we can make money on. Let's be real here. We're a business and we have to make money on products. Usually when we bail on something, it's because we're not confident that we can make money on it. And so a couple of people have asked about what happened with UFC. We didn't order a ton, and the main reason we didn't order a ton is because we didn't think that we were going to make a ton on it as a break.
Historically, we just haven't
Historically,
filled
we
UFC
haven't filled UFC
great.
incredibly well. And the truth is we ended up discount. And so here's our target. Typically, what we're targeting to make on a break is like $400 to $500, right? Typically, we're trying to make $400 to $500. And the reality for the first UFC break that we did is we discounted $495. So at that point, like, I would love to do more of UFC, but I physically can't run more UFC when I have to discount it $495 because we're not in this to break even or lose money, so we're just going to bail. And that happens with every new release at some point. UFC, it happened after the first case. But even Bowman Inception. Bowman Inception is a good example because it's right here. We're going to try to make $400 to $500 a case. And we're going to fill Bowman Inception with velocity until discounting tells us to stop breaking it. So your biggest communication to us that we should move on is us having to discount it to get it full. So, I know you guys like discounts. Who doesn't like discounts? But when we wait for discounts and things like that, that just tells us move on, break something else, and find something else to do with those cases. Or mixer, put them in mixers or do different things. So that's how it rolls. That's why we can always get more product. Like, we didn't order a ton of UFC. We can always go get more. But what I can't do is go get more UFC when I already discounted the first one $495. Short answer, transparent. Again, we're always going to be transparent with you guys. I'm happy to answer those questions, and that's the real scenario.
So Jose asked a good question with that, which we have been asked a bit lately. Why not leave the break open for a week?
Yeah. There are really specific reasons that we don't leave a break open for a week. We don't pre-sell. Everything that we fill is generally breaking within hours. And there are a number of reasons for that. One, when Tom and I started Real Sports Cards and Real Breaks, it was because we hated buying into a break not knowing when, or even a ballpark of when it was going to break. And ultimately, that concept of breaks when full, just wasn't something that Tom and I liked. And so when we built it, it was, We want to provide people with specific times so that they know when their brake is going to go live. And originally, we filled like 2 days in advance for a scheduled break time of, we would start filling on Monday for a Wednesday new release so that we knew we could have it full by then. And so, that's how we started this. I still believe that brakes when full is just really not a fantastic way to fill brakes. I don't like somebody sending me money and then waiting a week for that break to actually happen, and then that break happening when they weren't even around to be able to see it. And so that's why we've sat out on that. That's why we stick with the philosophy that we do with same day fills, breaking within a certain period of time, and then discounting to get them live. And our job as a business is to keep bringing in new users so brakes fill faster, and that's what we're going to keep doing. Jake mentioned for UFC that the UFC user base isn't here because there's never UFC brakes. I completely disagree, because there absolutely have been UFC products, and Prism UFC didn't fill well either. So Panini had the UFC license before Topps.
It's been a little bit since the last UFC release.
It's been a little while, but we definitely have experience with UFC products not filling historically.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. And in the long term, it makes less business sense to continue to lose money time and time again on new releases, trying to build a customer base which may or may not fully arise.
Well, and
waiting for the next release.
And the reality is Topps is probably only ever going to do 2 or 3 or 4 releases a year,
right,
for UFC. They're not going to do 50 releases a year like they do for baseball. And so, at that point then it's talking about whether my business should invest into trying building a UFC following for a product where there's going to be 3 releases a year that, I'm going to have to pay money to market to try and attract customers that buy UFC. I'm going to have to try and figure out how to keep them engaged in between new releases. How do I keep that person from just disappearing and not coming back when there's 6 months between UFC releases? So the investment that I have to make into marketing and customer acquisition and all of that kind of stuff, and then customer, retention to discount spots to fill cases, just not worth it from an ROI standpoint.
And to be clear, we will have every single new release product. We will do a little bit of everything. So we're not saying that we're never going to do UFC again. The next product comes out, we'll rip that. The next WWE product comes out, we'll rip that. I mean, you guys have seen through the last however long we've done a little bit of everything.
We'll do Star Wars. We'll do soccer. Soccer, actually, we've crushed a lot of soccer releases.
Yes, 100%.
We've done really well. So, that's a big part of it.
Yep.
So, we are going to respond to what you guys buy, and we can always go get more. So I see some comments that they didn't like how we priced some things. The reality is we used a lot of market data for how things were selling out there in the open market to guideline our prices, because we're not UFC experts by any means. So, yeah. Yep.
Travis says break more NASCAR.
More NASCAR?
We like Formula One better.
Yeah. Formula One historically has done a lot better for us than NASCAR. Panini, there was a stretch there where Panini was pouring out some NASCAR products for a couple of years, and woof.
Yeah.
That was painful.
Yeah.
We lost money on every case.
Yeah, 100%. Quick Draw says, any thoughts on people that think breakers are ruining the hobby?
Yeah, sure. There are a lot of breakers that are ruining the hobby.
That's a good way to answer that question.
Here's my thing. I feel really strongly that there are right ways to do breaks and wrong ways to do breaks. And the wrong ways to do breaks, agree with me or disagree with me, are all of the ultra gambly tools like minis and fillers and micros and picos and nanos and all of this awful stuff that just is pure gamble. And a lot of people are using that to fill breaks. And I just feel like they're using minis and fillers to fill teams that are overpriced, usually is the case, and that's why they didn't sell. And the reality is those things are all illegal. It is illegal gambling. I believe in breaks that are geared for collectors more than they're geared for gamblers. We all know that there's an element of risk in this industry, and that's whether you're jumping into a break or whether you're buying a box in the shop, right? Even whether you're buying singles. There's so many holy righteous people that think that buying singles is the only way to not have risk or gamble in this industry. And the reality is if you are buying singles, you are participating in the same type of risk as people who are ripping boxes, because singles can go up and singles can go down. And I mean, we see this. I mean, look at Wander. If you were taking a position in Wander, you were gambling. Call it investing, call it gambling. You were taking on risk, buying singles. Man, the all of the stuff on social media where people are like, oh yeah, such and such is a bad way of collecting. This is a bad way of collecting. That's a bad way of collecting.
You should be doing this. You should be doing that.
There is no wrong way to collect. There is simply a way to collect that gives you as an individual the most joy, and that's what this is about. It's a hobby, right? Some people try to turn it into a business. Obviously, we've turned it into a business. Some people try to turn it into a business. Some people try to turn it into investing. It's a hobby. There are very few, if any, hobbies that everyone makes money doing. That's not what a hobby is. We have a fun hobby where we get to decide for ourselves, make responsible decisions for ourselves, what risk tolerance we have, and how we like to participate, whether it's breaks or boxes or singles. And so stop buying into the social media garbage that says you should only do it one way. There's only one way to do it. Singles buyers, repackers are ruining the hobby. Breakers are ruining the hobby. Shops are ruining the hobby. Gary V is ruining the hobby. Brian Gray is ruining the hobby. Fanatics is ruining the hobby. Panini is ruining the hobby. My advice: those people are toxic. Stay as far away from those people and those conversations. Michael Walters is ruining the hobby. Stay as far away from those people who are talking about ruining the hobby as humanly possible, because that's toxic and it just sucks the joy out of this whole thing.
No one loves to hate on the hobby more than the people that claim that they love the hobby the most. This is the most backwards thing ever.
Yeah.
It's the most backwards thing ever.
Yeah. I would argue that breakers have added value. Some breakers. Again, let's differentiate between all breakers. All breakers are not created equal. I really strongly feel that all breakers are not created equal. We try to do things the right way, the responsible way, the legal way, and a way that is pro-collector. That is our mission, is to be pro-collector. And, other breakers are in it to make money only, and they only care about marking things up, and they buy at full retail and mark it way up.
Exploiting
Exploiting collectors who may be new to the industry. There's a certain platform out there that I feel does not do a good enough job of protecting. They do a great job of bringing new people in to the industry, and they do not do a good job of protecting those people from dealers who are out there to exploit them and take advantage of the fact that they don't know anything about cards yet. And I hate that because I feel like, hey man, you did a great job of bringing these collectors into the industry, and then you let them get abused, and then they are gone and they quit and they're gone forever without ever having a chance to engage in the hobby with breakers and shops and dealers who care about their hobby experience. And that platform could do a lot better about that. So I'm really passionate about that. And if you haven't had those conversations with me, that's who we are. And all of the people on our team feel the same way about that. Emil feels that way. Andrew feels that way. We are all collectors first, and breakers and dealers second. So
we won't be telling you guys that you got rich off $5 Isan Diaz auto.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, I'm not hyping you up. And then, it's like one of the ways we feel we're responsible is I'm not telling you your $10 hit is worth $200 so that you feel like you're winning and go spend more money. So when you hear Emil and it's not me as much, but it was, and Tom and I set the standard for this at Real Sports Cards. The reason Emil and Titus and Andrew and Bone and Tom or me are not overhyping cards is because we're not trying to get you to feel like you won so that you spend more money. And I think that's the motivation behind what a lot of breakers,
A lot of people doing
that
it.
hype breakers are doing right now. It's like, oh, that's a Tesla. Oh, that's a mortgage payment. Like, no, that's a $150 card, and that's awesome.
Yeah,
It's okay that it's a $150 card.
Yep.
That's an awesome hit. Congratulations. So we're just gonna be honest. We're not gonna try to make everyone feel like they win. Hopefully you feel like you won because you got to hang out, have a good time, you got some cards, and every once in a while you hit a banger, right? So
Trey Cabbage is my guy, and don't talk bad about punter autos. That's all I'm saying.
Trey Cabbage, huh?
Yeah, that's my dude.
What about Connor Joe?
Nah, I don't like him.
I heard Connor Joe has Archives autos
Does he?
for the Rockies.
Oh, so the Rockies are. Well, we comboed him. Nice.
Yep.
I didn't realize he was a Rocky at one point.
So hopefully that answers your question about how do I respond to people that say breakers are ruining the hobby?
Yep.
But
That's been a conversation for years and years and years. It's a conversation right now. It'll continue to be a conversation in 5 years, 10 years. Like we never see that The problem is there's always going to be people that are looking at something negatively and telling you that you're doing something wrong by the way you're doing it, and whatever.
Yep.
Whatever.
Yep. So that's my preach. That's my sermon.
That was a good one.
It's my sermon for the morning.
Yeah. You actually didn't talk bad about anyone in there specifically. I'm proud of you. I was expecting a couple name drops at some point there.
Emil's heard me name names, but you know what? I can rise above.
Yep.
I can rise above in a public forum. This is on the internet. Like, it's obviously on Uncommon and Facebook. It's on YouTube publicly. Like, other people can see this. So I'm not gonna name names. I could.
Oh, there's a laundry list, huh?
But,
All right, we're probably pretty close. Is Steve coming in at 10:30?
yeah, Steve's in at 10:30. We're gonna
Alright.
shut her down. We got 9 minutes. So if you've got any last minute questions, thoughts, wisdom.
Colin, I appreciate you, my man. Colin on YouTube talking about how he got back in 2020 and breaks helped him get back in.
Yeah.
Into collecting as a whole.
Great. Breaks are an epic way to educate collectors.
Yeah, we tell people all the time, like, if you don't know about a product, go watch a break of it.
It's the best way to learn. It's the best way to learn about a new product and whether you like it and whether you want to buy into it, whether that's a break or a box in the shop. Guys, we really value when you support our breaks. It means a lot to our business. You can also buy boxes from us. So if you are the person who's like, I like to rip my own wax, the reality is I like both. I like breaks and I still get the itch to rip, right? You can always buy wax from us at realsportscards.com. We're happy to ship it to you. We've got all the new releases on there, as well as old products. You want to go back and find something old, you can go do that. And then obviously, if you live in proximity, all these LPMN folks and LPWI folks live in proximity to the store. So Crosscheck, he says, I like ripping, but I love pack warring.
That's your.
So
that's
for
your
the
vice.
people that don't hang out in the store as often, I love it when this is bloody. I love it when this hobby is bloody. I like pack wars because I like to be able to buy a box and lose it or win the other person's box. Like, that's my thing. Like, I can deal with the zero, and I get a lot of joy in winning a card from somebody else. So that's
Especially if it's a friend.
Especially if it's a friend, man. Oh yeah, I get so much joy. So you might catch me every once in a while pack warring or box warring in the shop. If you want me to open something, that's a pretty good way to do it, is to challenge me to a pack war or a box war. Is a good way to get me to open something. So
Did you read that as pack wearing, Jake?
yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Case Wars. Oh, let's go. Let's go. Come into the shop. Let's Case War some Archive Signature Series.
That'd be a fun one, actually.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, like, Archive Signature Series is one of my favorite products to box war because it's one card.
Winner
You
or
do,
not.
like, lowest serial number wins or highest. Like, actually, it's better when you do highest serial number wins.
Yeah, then
because then the guy with the hits the 101 loses.
Yep.
Love it.
Yep.
Absolute love it. Archives case versus Archives case. And highest serial number wins one box at a time, so that the guys who hit the 101.
The worst part about that is if you get a 1-of-1 case, like the 1-of-1 hot case.
Like the 101 hot case, right? Oh yeah, you hit that 101 hot case, and then you just get trounced. Unless, like,
David says, let's set up a shop case war
Yes!
at the National.
Oh, David from Piece of the Game says, let's do a shop case
Real
war
sports
at
cards,
the National.
Real sports cards first piece of the game.
Yeah, let's go, baby. I'm in.
I think that's a yes. That'd be fun to do, actually.
I am in. Real quick, Eric on YouTube said he's trying to make a purchase on the app right now, and the payment option is missing. Any ideas why?
Yeah, so two reasons.
Two things. One, the downloaded app in the App Store is the most effective way to buy into a break.
Yep.
If you are using mobile web or if you are using the desktop version, the payment button is most susceptible to your connection, your internet connection speed, and your Wi-Fi or your internet. So if you're struggling on getting the payment button to pop up, usually it's an internet connection thing, and usually it's desktop or mobile web. The downloaded app, we've had like 0 reports of having that payment.
Yep. So
option
either go to the
missing.
App Store if you're on Apple, or the Android, the Google Play Store if you're on Android. Make sure, search the Uncommon app. Make sure you actually have the official app downloaded. This goes for everyone. Make sure you guys have the official app downloaded from the App Store. That's going to be the most supported, most clean version.
All the new features that we roll out, all the notification improvements, everything like that are going to be optimized for downloaded app. Google Play Store and App Store.
Yep. Otherwise, it might be a connection issue. Eric, if you have any other issues, just send me
Send a message.
Send me a message if you're on Facebook. Otherwise, my email is Emil EMIL @realsportscards.com.
Yeah, we can get you squared away.
Yep.
So, but yeah, back to Pack Wars and Box Wars. I love it. I love it bloody.
I'm excited for the national now. I want to do this thing with piece of the game.
The one thing I love when the guy with the 1-1 loses.
Yep.
But I also love it, like, you hit then the other guy hits like a 1 of 99 and it's a tie and it pushes to the next round. And the guy with the 1 of 99 just like totally got smoked on his like guaranteed win.
Yep.
And like big cards are 1-1s. So Titus pulled an Otani 1-1. Like you legit would lose the Otani 1-1 to freaking
to a Connor Joe out of 99.
Connor Joe out of 99 is freaking awesome. I love it. I absolutely love it.
That's funny.
So yeah, I'm good on Pack Wars.
I'm excited for the national, man. It's gonna be a fun time. We're gonna have some sweet stuff set up there. We're gonna have some fun breaks, some fun stuff going on. Back in Cleveland, the best city in the world.
I hate Cleveland.
Yeah, no, you love Cleveland. Cleveland's nice. It's getting nicer by the year.
I hate Cleveland.
You spent plenty of time in Cleveland before.
Well, I lived in Akron for like years.
I know. This is homecoming for me.
I hate Cleveland.
We're gonna we should get a bunch of like 0304 tops basketball stuff and break that.
I got a box of SPX. Should we open it right now?
No, we should not open it right now. No, we can do it like a big LeBron homecoming break.
Maybe David has a box of 0304
Exquisite.
SPX basketball. We can box war.
Whoever gets the Darko wins.
Whoever gets the Darko wins. Or like if you hit a LeBron, you automatically lose.
Oh, gross. LeBron or Jordan auto lose.
This should get me excited about box wars. It gets ugly. It gets really ugly really fast.
That's funny.
So Cleveland National at the IX Center. We're gonna be staying downtown because that's where all the fun is. So if you're going to Cleveland for the National, stay downtown with us. We're probably gonna stay at the arcade. But there's a bunch of hotels all down there because there's no bars, there's no good restaurants, there's no fun. Downtown Cleveland's got a casino. They got endless bars, and so we're gonna have some fun downtown. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is actually a cool thing to go see.
Yeah,
you haven't done it yet.
Yeah. So if you want to hang with us, stay downtown. I just hope they figured out their internet scenario because
you said I wasn't there at the last Cleveland National.
Cleveland National, the internet was so bad we could barely stream. It was like 8-bit. It was like OG Nintendo breaks.
That's too. You're dating yourself now. That's older than me.
It was brutal.
That's older than me.
It was brutal. So, yeah.
It'll be fun. National will be fun.
National will be a good time. It's always a good time. We'll have our big 20 by 20 booth with our lounge. So that's another thing we do at the show. If you are hanging out at the show, there are very, very few places to take a load off and sit and hang out. And if you've got the Uncommon app, which actually, by the time of the National, will be the Real Sports Cards app.
Yep.
If you have the Real Sports Cards app downloaded on your phone, you can chill in our couch, in our private roped off lounge, VIP lounge, with our blue velvety ropes. So
word on the street is that the same week of the National is also Shark Week.
No.
I'm just saying that's the word on the street.
We're not going to say that story live on the internet.
I can't say it. It's worse for bad for both of us.
From the National last year.
Yeah.
We're not going to tell the shark story.
The tequila shark.
And that's why we're also not going to tell the samurai sword story from the year before in Atlantic City.
That's fine. That's not our story. We can tell that one.
Come hang out at the National is a party.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
We have a good time.
All right. You got anything else? Any final words?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think we cut everything.
Yep.
Maddie, we did talk about Diamond Rewards points a little bit earlier, so I don't want to dig into it again.
That's kind of a cool idea, though. He's talking about like national perks. Like, what if we did lounge access as a Blue Diamond drop, or like free food at the net or something like that as Blue Diamond drops.
We might be able to come up with something for.
We come up with some cool stuff
for Blue Diamond drops.
All right, Maddie, I'm writing that one. That's the first noteworthy comment I think of the day. I'll write that one down. We could definitely do some cool stuff like that.
WWE SummerSlam is the same weekend in Cleveland.
That'd be cool. Word on the street is that WrestleMania is coming to Minneapolis next year.
All right.
So what we need to do, Zach had this idea in the back. One of our sorters is a massive WWE fan. He had the idea that we get ringside tickets, wear big bright orange Real Sports Card shirts, and get on, because you can see the people in the front row.
I don't know if you knew this. Did you know that we sponsored a boxer?
I did know that, yeah. I did know that.
We sponsored a boxer. He's boxing in Illinois in a fight coming up, and it's a boxer that Chipcase Restocker is a promoter for.
Yep.
So kind of fun. We're gonna have some Real Breaks branded orange boxing shorts.
Yep.
Or it's in Missouri. Oh yeah, not Illinois. The UBO title fight. Boom. So that'd be kind of fun.
If he loses, do we get to punish him at all? Like, does he have to run 10? Do we get to make him run 10 miles?
Push-ups?
Yeah. I don't want to sponsor any losers, especially with boxing. This dude better be the next Floyd.
If he loses, you have to fight him.
If he's a loser, then I'll for sure. I got thunder and lightning right here. I could be a good boxer. I'd be a great boxer. I'm quick.
Because they can't punch down that far?
No, you punch with someone in your weight class, so then I just get in there because I don't have the length, so I can just get in there and just
eat up those ribs.
Yeah, the dude's kidneys are gonna be hurting.
Emil, yeah, I agree. I agree with Chipcase Restocker. Emil would die in 4 seconds.
No, I was in one fight, seventh grade gym locker room.
All right,
kid didn't know it was coming.
All right, last piece. Last piece. Mike Tyson or Jake Paul?
Jake Paul's gonna win because it's a stupid cash grab thing. I don't like that. I think that's all dumb. Honestly, I think it's all stupid. It's all stupid.
Oh.
I'm not downplaying Jake Paul. Some of the stuff he's done is cool, but like, do I really want to watch Mike Tyson or Jake Paul fight? No.
Mike Tyson's like a grandpa age.
Yeah, we're gonna meet him at the MN Card Show.
Yeah,
I'd fight Mike Tyson at the MN Card Show.
Yeah, that's another great event you guys should all come to. MN Card Show, third weekend of April. It's like the 18th to the 21st or something like that.
Yep.
MN Card Show. We're gonna have 2 20x20 booths at that show at the River Center where the Wild play. Massive show.
It's gonna be epic.
Come hang out.
Do you think we could do a Blue Diamond rewards drop do you think we could get this set up where like, you see like people taking punch or kicks from these guys like is there a Blue Diamond rewards drop where you get to see me get or like if we hit the certain amount I get punched by Mike Tyson like a body shot?
I mean, we should have done Blue Diamond rewards as an auction.
Yeah. And
then I could have, for those of you that don't know, Laura and I are having a baby on Wednesday next week.
Yeah, it's coming up quick.
Wednesday next week, this next week, like literally 5 days, we are having a baby. I could have Blue Diamond auctioned off the naming rights to my son.
You still haven't announced the name yet, have you?
Yeah, we have picked the name.
It is picked?
We have picked the name, but we have not shared it with anybody.
It is a baseball name? Related?
Perhaps.
Okay. I just know because you did the complete set and looked through names of baseball players.
So if you guys didn't hear about the story, we're going a little over time here, but if you guys didn't hear the story, one of the ways that Laura and I and Amberly, our 6-year-old, had fun trying to come up with names is I got three Topps factory sets, 3 2024 Topps or 2023 Topps factory sets, and Laura and I went through every card in the factory set, pulling out cards that had names on them, that we liked. And then Amberly pulled out the cards where she thought the pictures were cool. And then we used that process to try and pick or try and help us find a name that we thought would be fun. And so we got a name. First name is baseball related. Second name is family. Okay. And it's not Ellie De La Holland.
That's a really funny name. I like that one. She would not let me do Masahiro or Masataka or Shohei. I like both of those, honestly.
Yeah. I thought Masataka Holland was really good, actually.
Good.
But I might like Ellie De La Holland better.
Yeah.
You just do De La as their middle name?
Yep.
Ellie De La Holland. Like it.
Wander Holland, someone said.
Oh, that
wrong. One got nixed.
That's wrong. I'm surprised our filter didn't just filter that one right out. So, right on, boys. Ladies and gentlemen, appreciate everybody hanging out. Thanks again, as always, for your support. We love you guys. We love hanging out with you guys in breaks, in the store, at events, you name it. If you want to make a pilgrimage up here to Minneapolis and hang out with us, please reach out. We want to welcome you and make your stay fun. Appreciate you guys a ton. Thanks for hanging out with us this morning, and we'll keep these Q&As coming for you. Peace.
Thanks, guys.